All right, kids, time for our quiz review. This is, it's only 8 questions or 7 questions, but a couple of them have multiple parts. Some parts are harder than others. So pay attention and you should be able to see everything you're going to need to see. So first page is simple interest. It says you invest $8,000 into a savings account. The savings account has simple interest at 8%. How much interest will the account have 5 years later? So we're going to use the formula up here. I'm going to keep using these blanks because I do think they're helpful. Interest is what we're looking for. Invest is a key word for interest, or for principals. That's going to be 8,000. The rate is 8%. We're going to change that to a decimal at 0.08. And the time is going to be 5 years. So our unknown is going to be I. So we're starting off pretty light here. 8,000 times 0.08 times 5. And the beauty of these questions is that often you can plug them straight into the calculator the way they are. 8,000 times 0.08 times 5. And that will give me $3,200. Remember, when you're calculating these things, you have to make sure you put them in the units. That's going to be a couple points off if you don't put that dollar sign there. Second question says, what is the total value of this? Well, total value means principal plus interest. So you take our original principal, we're going to add our interest amount, and see what that totals. 8,000 plus 3,200 equals $11,200. And that's the answer for number 1. On number 2, it says you invest $6,000 into a bank account with 4% simple interest. Several years later, the account has earned $1,400 in interest. How many years was the investment in the bank? So this is a slightly different question, but still simple interest. So we're going to still use these 4 blanks. Okay, invest. Here's a key that number is going to be your principal. 4% simple interest. We can do that. 0.04. It says several years later the bank has earned. Okay, earned is a key word for interest. So that's going to go here. $1,440. So then what we're going to do is we are going to see how many years that took. So T is my unknown. 1,440 equals 6,000 times 0.04 times T. So the key here is to simplify the stuff on the left first. So 6,000 times 0.04 equals 240. So 1,440 equals 240 T. Okay. Then to solve for the time, we're going to divide by 240. So 1,440 divided by 240 equals 6. So our answer is going to be T equals 6. But remember, on this one, we need to make sure we put the units. T is time in years. Okay. Number 3 says Janet has $400 in a simple interest savings account. 10 years later, the account has grown to $840. It's a 2-part question. And the 2 parts are here just structured to help you find the information that you need so you can answer the question properly. The first question says, how much has the account grown because of interest? Well, if it began at $400 and it's now at $840, that means that we need to subtract those 2 amounts. 840 minus 400 equals $440. That's how much it has grown. So this is going to equal I. Now the question below is to find the interest rate. So we're going to keep using our IPRT blanks. Now we know that I is 440. We know that the principal is $400. And we know that the time was 10 years. What we do not know is the rate. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and set this up. 440 equals 400 times R times 10. Now, even though these 2 numbers are separate, we still need to multiply them together. So 400 times 10, I'm not going to get the calculator out for that one. That is 4,000 R. Now, just like the one above here, once we have it to one number with the variable, we're going to divide that number to cancel it out. So we're going to divide both sides here by 4,000. Now be careful when you do this on the calculator, because it's really easy to get these backwards. So let's put 440 divided by 4,000. This one I'm not going to try and do in my head. 440 divided by 4,000. So make sure when you're dividing, the top number goes first, bottom number goes second. And that gives us 0.11. This is the correct number, but it is not the correct answer because our rates are going to be in terms of percent. So we need to take this, if it's in a decimal form like this, when we're solving for it, we need to move that decimal point over 2 places, which means that the R is going to be 11%. This is the correct answer. This is a couple of points off. Okay. Number 4 says Mary has $1,200 in a savings account. She is saving up for a laptop that costs $1,500. How many years will she have to wait to buy the laptop? This is a very similar question. It just doesn't give you the structure. So what we're looking for here is I, P, R, and T. Okay, let me move this camera down a bit. And in this case, our numbers are not all completely obvious. You have to think about it a second. It says she starts off with $1,200, but she needs $1,500, so the amount of interest she needs to earn is going to be the difference between those. 1,500 minus 1,200 equals $300 in interest is what she's looking to earn. Her principal is the amount that she's investing, which is the $1,200. The rate is 10%. The question is how many years? That means the time is going to be our unknown. So we're going to set our equation up like so. And then if you'll notice, this is just like the question on number 2. We're solving for time. So we're going to multiply these together. 300 is going to stay the same for now. 1,200 times 0.10 gives me 120. Okay, and then we need to divide to cancel out the 120 on both sides. Okay, so we need 300 divided by 120 gives us 2.5. And the first time we did a question like this and we got an answer that was like this, we had some questions because it was a decimal, we hadn't seen any. That's fine. Okay, your decimal is going to be, or your answer is going to be 2.5 years. Okay, we'll pause and go on to side 2.